I went from relapsing on NoFap multiple times a week for over 2.5 years straight to now not even having jacked off once in the last 9 months. My name is Leo Myron. I'm an 18-year-old guy on self-improvement from Stockholm, Sweden. And in this video, I want to walk you through what I did yesterday and explain why I do what I do from a NoFap perspective and hopefully give you some tips and tricks to make your journey a bit easier. So yeah, let's get into it. So yesterday I woke up at 5 a.m. and that is my bedtime or my wake up time every single day, for the simple reason that I want to have a lot of time in the day before I have to go to school. Now, yesterday was a Saturday, so I didn't have any school, but I do want to have the same wake up time and the same sleep schedule every single day because I do think there are a lot of benefits to that. And so I wake up at 5 a.m. because when I don't have, or when I do have school, I want to have a lot of time before I have to go to school, before I have to interact with basically anyone, to just do some stuff that I want to do, work towards my goals. For example, make these videos and do some other work. I have two goals really in life right now. The first one is that I'm bulking quite aggressively, and I'm in the gym like every single day, and I'm eating a fuck ton of food and training hard as fucking shit. So I'm currently like 87 kilograms approximately at 6 foot, and I want to bulk up to like 95 kilograms by the end of the year. So yeah, man, that's what I'm shooting for. And then I also want to grow my this channel and the community that I have, the accountability group, like the NoFap the NoFap accountability group that I have. I want to grow that one. And yeah, those are kind of like my two goals. And I do a lot of weightlifting stuff in the afternoon and in the evening. I eat a lot of food, let's say past 3 p.m. And then I work out in the evening as well. So in the mornings, I usually do some work in my community and I make these videos, for example. So that's why I wake up at 5 a.m. And so yesterday I woke up, turned off my alarm clock. I have like a quite an unusual alarm clock. I have like a wake up lamp. It's kind of like a light that is not really like a normal alarm clock. A normal alarm clock, like on the phone or some shit like that, that goes off like or something like that, you know, fucking just wakes you up like in a jolt, you know. I don't really like those because it feels like I'm being put into more of a fight or flight mode, like the adrenaline starts pumping a little bit. Because if you think about it, the human brain and body has not really changed over the last 40,000 years, 50,000 years. Like I think that's around the point that the last kind of significant evolution of our brains and stuff really occurred. Maybe it's even like fucking more time than that. But if you think back to how humans have lived for the vast majority of our existence, we have lived out in the wilderness with animals all around us. And so the times when we woke up like this in a jolt, that was usually when there was some sort of predator around, some sort of threat that we have to deal with, right? And so that's probably going to trigger or cause, whatever word you want to use, some sort of adrenal response in the body, some norepinephrine, some cortisol. These hormones create the feeling of stress and anxiety. And I just don't really like that. I would much rather have a sort of more gradual wake up thing. And so basically what I do is that I have a lamp, a light, that gradually increases the intensity of the light that is emitted from the light over time, over maybe like 20 minutes. And so then in my eyes kind of automatically adjust its sort of, I don't know, the neural network to something that simulates the rising sun, you know? So, and then also the sound that it makes is like a gradually increasing sort of slow, instrumental, nature kind of vibe song. It's like flute sounds and water trickling down a stream and these kinds of sounds that the lamp makes at the time that I've set, which is 5 a.m. So I wake up really fucking well rested, and yeah, man, I wake up at 5 a.m. every day that way. So yeah, dude, I woke up and then I went into my bathroom and I hopped into the cold shower. And I have a cold shower maybe 30 to 60 seconds usually. Basically the first thing that I do when I wake up. And the main reason that I have a cold shower is that there is significant scientific backing of the fact that when you hop in the cold shower or you have some sort of cold bath, like cold exposure in general, when you do that kind of stuff, your dopamine levels, which is like a molecule in your brain that regulates motivation, goes up like crazy, and the rise is sustained over a long period of time. So basically with dopamine, when you have a lot of dopamine, you have a lot of motivation. That's kind of like what the molecule does. And for example, in terms of NoFap, when you have a lot of motivation for jacking off, your dopamine levels will be firing at all cylinders in your blood, in your brain, and you'll feel very motivated, very compelled, very driven to keep going, to keep pursuing this thing. A lot of people have the misconception that dopamine is what creates pleasure, but that's not actually the case. It's what creates motivation and drive, and the pursuit, the hunt of things. So, for example, when you feel really fucking horny, you just came up from the gym, you saw some fit things. Basically, all girls wear fucking laundry at the gym these days, and at least where I live in Sweden, in the Western world. And then you come home, you're tired, you get some food, you sit down on the armchair, the couch, whatever. You open your phone, you scroll a little bit, you watch some YouTube videos, and you start getting some urges and shit. Perhaps you see some fucking Instagram, some fitness, fucking female fitness influencer on Instagram or some bullshit like that. And then you get urges, and you're like, yeah, man, I probably should just go into the bathroom and jack off. When you get that desire and you feel the need to do it, that is dopamine. The dopamine goes up in your brain, or actually it's secreted into your blood, or like disseminated into your blood, and so you feel that shit. And so what happens is that the dopamine levels go way up, and then as you keep going, as you go and do it, as you grab your PP, as you fucking, goon or whatever the fuck, it goes up like crazy and it hits the peak, the ceiling. But then when you reach orgasm, when you get the post-nut clarity, it drops like crazy. It drops below the original baseline, so you actually feel shittier than before, which is a bit counterintuitive because you're supposed to feel good by doing this thing, and you do for a period of time, but then you feel fucking shitty, right? And even if you don't actually nut, if you just go to, if you edge for long enough, it barely even feels good anymore. It just feels like whatever. And then what used to be pleasurable just 15 minutes ago, just 20 minutes ago, now it feels like normal, maybe a little sprinkle of pleasure, but it feels kind of normal. But then everything else in comparison feels boring as shit. And so if you try to study after that, or if you try to work on your business after that, for example, it might be really difficult because your motivation will be lower. And in terms of motivation and discipline, of course we need discipline, but I do think that motivation is required for action. Like, if you do not perceive a benefit from doing an action, I do not believe that you will take that action. And so if you perceive a greater reward or smaller punishment, wherever, from an action than another, from jacking off than not doing it, then you will jack off, in my belief. I do think that humans will do what they've been reinforced for doing in the past. And so if you fuck up your dopamine levels enough, there's a huge risk that you will be less productive, and you won't even really perceive the long-term costs of taking destructive action that feels good now but is actually costing you your long-term goals. And addiction, in terms of science, is just a progressive narrowing of the things that bring you pleasure. Got that from Dr. Huberman, shout out to him. But so basically, after a little while, nothing else really feels that good, that feels fun, except for this vice that you have. And a lot of people are just fucking chronically addicted to porn, to sex, these things, but also things like cocaine and methamphetamine and all sorts of weird drugs, even junk food from people, like alcohol. And it's the only thing that they perceive a benefit in. So it's some really interesting stuff, man. And in terms of cold showers and cold exposure, you get a similar increase to cocaine in terms of your dopamine levels when you step out of a cold shower. Of course, when you're in there and when you're about to go in, it doesn't feel good at all. Like the dopamine levels go down in the beginning, but then they go up afterwards because it's difficult first, then it's easier afterward when you go out, of course. So you get usually about a 2.5x increase in dopamine after you step out of the cold shower or the cold bath, which is similar to the dopamine levels that cocaine induces, which is fucking insane. But then, instead of having this rapid peak and then this drop to the trough, to the sort of the low point of the dopamine fucking graph, it's sustained for about 4 to 6 hours and then actually restabilizes at a higher baseline, which is really fucking cool. And yeah, I think it's an awesome thing, man. And I think in general, doing hard things that you're not motivated for in the moment are going to be beneficial for your dopamine levels. And in terms of NoFap, I feel very much like fucking really equipped to deal with urges when I'm on a good dopamine detox like I am right now. And it's like, it's way easier for me to actually perceive and to sort of put weight, like whatever analogy you want to use, on the action of doing it, and what it actually is going to cost me. Like, because for example, if you, like when I used to jack off, if I did jack off, then afterwards it was way easier to just do it again. Because like, sure, I'm already on day 0, but also like my dopamine levels were fucked up. I didn't really feel like doing anything. Like, yeah, I may as well stay up late. I've already fucked up this evening. And I didn't even perceive the cost of doing it again because my dopamine levels were so low. And my levels of motivation that were required to perceive the long-term sort of cost of doing this thing now and actually see that, okay, if I do this thing, my long-term goals, my big goals in life will suffer from that. I wasn't really able to perceive that after I just jacked off, and it was, so oftentimes I would just go on fapathons, you know, do it over and over again. Because the thing, it's like, in terms of me, when I used to jack off, obviously, like, it would be way easier, like, the whole point I'm trying to say is that it would be way easier for me to jack off again after I'd just done it, than go from not having jacked off in a couple days, whatever, in a week, to do it once. The likelihood was way higher. And so when, like, my willpower was just weaker. The amount of urges that were required to get me to jack off was way lower. And so that's why I love taking cold showers. And I just feel like fucking so amazing when I step out of them. And I feel very energetic in the mornings and so on. It's great, man. And it only takes like fucking a minute or some shit like that. It's like, it's not, I'm not doing some sort of weird 3-hour morning routine or some shit like that. But it takes 60 seconds and it gives me a lot of energy. So I love doing it for that reason. Then I stepped out of the cold shower. I brushed my teeth, got my clothes on, weighed in. I think it was like 87.4 kg or something like that yesterday. So yeah, both going pretty well. And then after that, I grabbed my backpack. I got my winter jacket on, like these clothes, and I went out into the woods, into this place, like my setup. I have my bench here and everything. And yeah, I made the video yesterday. I think it was about 40 something minutes long. And yeah, I thought it was a great video that I made. I thought I gave some great advice, and yeah, I'll just keep up these videos, man. See how it goes. But yeah, I made the video, and then I was done at about 6:30 or something like that. And then I went back home to my house. It's about a 20-minute walk. And then I hopped on the first accountability call that I host with my private group chat on WhatsApp. We're about 15 guys right now inside, 15, 16 guys. And I do free coaching, basically free accountability. I do calls at 1 p.m. 7 a.m., 1 p.m., 7 p.m. every single day, Central European time, Sweden time. And yeah, the members that I brought in that we have, they hop on to the calls. I send like a little Google Meet link, and they hop on the calls, and I just ask each member like, yo, what's up, bro? How you doing? Have you been jacking off? Have you had any urges? How's the dopamine detox gone? And just keep everyone accountable. Like, we had a guy yesterday who had jacked off, and yeah, it was fun as fuck laughing at, you know, him and shit. And hopefully he will learn to not do that shit in the future, because he's gonna suffer the embarrassment. And I think a lot of people lack this in their life. I think accountability is absolutely huge for resisting sexual urges, man, for NoFap. Because most people just don't have anyone to talk to about this kind of stuff, that I've spoken to at least. You know, and when I told my best friends about my fucking NoFap struggles, that was when I really made a lot of progress. And also when I started my YouTube series, like this series that you're watching right now. And I just swore to myself that if I do jack my fucking dick, I have to tell my audience. And I haven't done it since. So it's clearly worked for me. And I think, yeah, it's going well. Sure, we've had some jacking off occurring with some of the members, but in general, everyone's made great progress. I'd say maybe like a 90% reduction so far in total in maybe 1 or 2 months with the coaching stuff that I've done, in terms of the overall jacking off that has occurred with everyone. And yeah, man, it's, you know, I'm a new coach. I'm not saying that I have all the answers and I know how to get people to stop jacking off. I'm a bit of an experimenter right now. I do think that, like, the logic makes sense to me, that if you have to hop on calls with people that you respect on some level, that you want to sort of seem good in front of, that you want to impress, maybe, like that you wouldn't feel comfortable being viewed as a little bitch by, then I would assume, because this is it's the case for me, that the likelihood that I would resist the urges in the moment would go up, because I wouldn't want to suffer the punishment later. So, yeah, man, because I fundamentally only believe that we have two levers we can sort of use, that we can, two screws that we can do something with, to that we can crank in order to make it more or less likely that we jack off. So if we make it more painful to jack off, that is one of them, and then more rewarding to not do it. Like that's what we can do. Or the inverse of that would be less rewarding to do it and less punishing to not do it. You get my point, right? So I think accountability and dopamine detox are great for this, because with accountability, you have the sort of you have the external like punishment. And by the way, I define accountability as behavior that increases the likelihood of self-compliance. So the likelihood that, so basically things that you or other people do that make it more likely that you do what you said you would do. So if you say, I will stop jacking off, things that you do or things that other people do that help you with that, that is accountability. So making habit trackers and being reminded that way, hopping on calls with people, making YouTube videos, making public posts, these are things that I would consider to be accountability. And because I've heard a lot of people talk about it, but actually haven't heard anyone define it. So I thought, yeah, I think like behavior that increases the likelihood of self-compliance is pretty accurate, at least from my understanding. So accountability is great for NoFap, at least it has been in my experience, because you make it more painful to jack off, and then also more rewarding to resist, because then you'll get some pats on the back, you know, or pats on the fucking camera, because we're doing online shit, of course. But like, but yeah, I think it's great what we're doing. And then for dopamine detox, I just feel like willpower is the only thing that we need to resist sexual urges, which I define as acting in spite of your desire. So wanting to do something but not doing it. Discipline is the flip side of that, which is doing something that you don't want to do. Willpower is the other side of that coin. So I think willpower is what we need for not jacking off. And yeah, I think for me at least, and for the guys that I've spoken to, when I or they have gotten on like a really good fucking dopamine detox, and we don't indulge in activities that would spike our dopamine levels, like eating junk food, of course, watching porn and jacking off in and of itself, but then also things like scrolling, playing video games, alcohol, drugs, like nobody's done that, or like nobody in the group is doing fucking drugs or something like that. But like these things, movies, shows, even just hanging out with bullshit people. What else? Like, yeah, I guess those are the main ones, the main vices of the modern world. And when you eliminate those, your dopamine baseline, instead of going up and then going down and restabilizing at a low level, you do hard things, you abstain from these pleasurable things, and it maybe goes down in the moment because it doesn't feel very good. You're not motivated to do this hard thing. But then when you persist, when you keep going and you push your way through it, the dopamine levels go up. And so, for example, if you run a marathon or something like that, you run a 5K, whatever, 10K, afterwards, you probably feel pretty fucking good about yourself, right? Because you've just done something hard. And to the same degree, like with cold showers, that'll be the case usually. And then maybe with working out and these kinds of things. So I think dopamine detox is really fucking good, because I feel like there's like, you need a certain level of motivation for your long-term goals in order to perceive them and the cost of doing this action, which is gonna result in less of the goal in the future. Like if you, for example, if you have a goal right now that is to build a great physique that will take you 5 years or 10 years, you need a certain level of motivation, which translates into dopamine on a biochemical level, to actually be able to do things now that will result in that later. Like less intelligent animals, like monkeys, whatever, like if you want to train a monkey or train whatever animal really, you have to reward it immediately after they did the action to create the association. But with humans, we do have the ability to resist things that we want to do in the moment because of the fact that we perceive a long-term benefit of not doing it. But if your dopamine levels are too low, in my experience, my ability to actually perceive those long-term goals goes way down. You know, you might be able to relate to that. Like if you do jack off, afterwards, you're probably way more likely to do things like fucking eating junk food or scrolling, doing things that you shouldn't be doing. It's probably pretty rare for you to jack off and then be like, yeah, let me fucking lock in. Maybe you are that kind of person, but a lot of people, including my younger self, would be like, yeah, fuck, man. I'm already on day 0. I may as well just fucking waste the rest of the day. You know, and that's been the case for a lot of the people that I've spoken to. Maybe you're completely different. Maybe you're fucking built different, like a fucking different animal. Awesome. But I do think that regulating dopamine levels is an amazing tool for building willpower, because you just have more motivation, and you are the likely that you reach the threshold, the critical mass, in order to actually be able to perceive your long-term goals goes up. Maybe I need more time to sort of articulate my thoughts, but that's at least my current thought process. So yeah, I had the first call, lovely chat, and then I edited the video, uploaded some B-roll onto the video, and then I uploaded it onto YouTube. And then I walked all the way to my dad's place, because my parents are like divorced. I would say amicably so, for sure. They're on very good terms. It's all good for like 12 years now. And but yeah, they live pretty close, so I can just walk like from my mom to my dad if I have to. And I alternate like 2 weeks, mom's like 2 weeks, dad's place. And I went there because I needed some documents, like a paper, to be able to collect my driver's license, which I got for my driving test. Or I did my driving test like 1.5 weeks ago, some shit like that. Maybe, what was it, 10, 14 days ago, whatever. And then I basically got like a direct mail thing, like a paper in the mail of like, you can go to this location at this time, at this supermarket, and collect your physical driver's license. And so I had to go to my dad and get the paper, and then I walked to the location, the supermarket, and got my driver's license. And yeah, man, it's all good, bro. I did 3 failed fucking driver's license tests, bro. It's like driving tests, which was really fucking annoying, but I made it work on the first try. And yeah, man, I think from that I learned that it's not always gonna come on the first try, but you gotta fucking be persistent. You gotta endure. You gotta suffer. But then you will learn like you will learn to persist, which I've done, right? So it's all good, bro. It's all good. I got my driver's license, and then I came back, and I'm not gonna lie, I kind of slacked off after that. I watched a little bit of like I watched some chess, which I fucking shouldn't be doing that shit, but yeah, fucking. I don't know how did that even happen, bro. But I like went onto the fucking chess website and saw like some tournaments that were going on. I don't think it's as destructive or degenerate as other video games, but it's still like something that I shouldn't be doing, and that was my fault. And I also like ate some stuff that I shouldn't have probably ate and shit, because I wanted to get the calories in, I'm bulking and shit, but it was a bit of an excuse. So I'll get better with that kind of stuff. But yeah, man, in general, I had a rest day from the gyms. It was a bit chill and stuff. I was home for most of my day on my phone, doing a bit of work, taking some calls, and yeah, man, it was a pretty good day. And yeah, man, I had 2 more calls, and they were all good. I think I'm pretty sure we didn't have anyone else who had relapsed. No, that was all good. Yeah, man, but by the way, like, if you do want my free help, because I'm doing free coaching, because I want to get experience as a coach, and I actually want to be able to have proof that I'm good before I start charging. I don't just want to be like every other fucking guy my age that is like starting some course and they have no proof that they're even good at the thing. They've never even had anyone as some sort of free client or whatever. Because someone might be good at fucking at doing something, but teaching and doing are 2 different skills. And so before I start charging for any coaching that I do or whatever, which for sure I aim to do in the future, I need to get good, And if you would want to be my fucking best case study, my biggest success story, and you will want my free accountability, then you can join the free school community and link in the description. It's for free. And yeah, dude, it's all good. Like, if you're maybe, like me, 16, 20 years old, I'm 18. If you're in that range, maybe you're from Europe or North America, you kind of, you're in the roughly the same socioeconomic situation as I am in, because then I can probably relate to you the most and help you the most. And you are on self-improvement, like you want to build muscle, you want to build a business, you want to achieve great things in life, and you're meant for more than this fucking little bad habit that you just need to get rid of. Maybe, for example, you might not even have anyone to talk to about this thing, and that might be making it difficult for you to stop. If that's you and you would want to join, then it's for free, and we'll have a chat, see if you're a good fit. And yeah, man, I hope to see you inside. Yallah.